I'm on the list. So. Yes, you are on the list. Okay. Okay, welcome back to those of you online Zoomers. Can someone give me a thumbs up? Carlene, Robin, can you? Okay, great. Feel free to mute yourselves. I'm trying to quiet us down in here. We have a lot going on today. I think we've just organized ourselves to fit. So welcome back. Here is the start of our autumn brunch. We have so many fun festivities. Please feel free, that's okay, to check your bidding item. You're welcome to take your phone out during this time and check on your bids and your favorite auction items. Reminder, the auction does close at 11:30. With that, I'd like to introduce my co-host for this afternoon, Daegu.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm Daegu, and the reason I'm doing this is I wasn't always Daegu. Since July, I think, I have been Daegu. I took Jukai ceremony, and I got the name Daegu. And what happened is that people go, wow. Don't interrupt the joke, Roshi. So the idea is I made a decision to live by vows and to become a bodhisattva. And by the way, since last Tuesday, business will be brisk because the role of a bodhisattva is to relieve the pain and suffering of everybody in the world. So if you've put your name on the list for the latte, put your name on the list for some comfort, and we'll take care of that. So anyway, the idea was I got a Dharma name, and my Dharma name is Daegu. And people were like, oh, Ken, this sounds wonderful. You're living by vow. You're living by the tenets. And you have a new Dharma name. What is it? And I said, it's Daegu. And they said, wow, that's awesome. What does that mean? And I said, the great fool. And they went, oh. Like, it's not leukemia, guys. It's fine. It's just a name. I actually chose that name. Now, it wasn't my first choice. If Roshi Jun remembers, my first choice was Kenju, and Roshi Jun then said, well, Kenju, what does that mean? I said, it does mean knowledge, but however, my name is Ken, and... Oh, boy. So, the bagels and lox feel like my worlds are colliding. And I'm glad that the Zendo got the message that if you want to fill the place up, give a nosh, give a snack. It's all good. So, and
Worlds colliding here.
yes, and another world that's colliding is this Zendo is home not just to the Zen Life and Meditation Center, but an authentic hula school run by my Roshi, Roshi Jun, and ladies and gentlemen, Mitch McConnell. No. But now what we're going to do is we're going to mercifully get me off stage and away from the microphone. And I'd like to introduce to you Jun Roshi, who will then introduce the dancers.
Good morning, everybody. So wonderful to see you all here for our Autumn Harvest Share. First time we're doing this, but it seemed like a great idea. And I want to welcome some old friends, Sherwin and Mary Ho. Their daughters took hula from me when we were in the house. That was so many years ago. So welcome, Sherwin and Mary. And some new people here that is also wonderful to see. So we're going to start off with hula. So we're having today poetry, music, and hula. And hula actually is Hawaiian poetry sung and danced. So, so I'm happy to share it. We're doing Puamana. A little over a year ago, right, there was this huge fire in Lahaina, and the town was devastated. And this song, Puamana, is the name of a home, the Farden home in Lahaina. They named their homes because they love their homes. It's on the ocean. It was on the ocean. Beautiful, fragrant plumeria trees. Pua means flower. Mana means like the essence, the spiritual essence, mana, of flowers. So her home was beautiful. You'll see references to coconut trees because every time a child was born, they plant a coconut tree. So they had a huge grove of coconut trees that made people feel wonderful. So this is written by Irmgard Aluli. I'm just setting up the music here. And this was the Farden home. She wrote the song in 1938, I think, and she was one of the most prolific songwriters in Hawaii, women songwriters.
So do you want to be recording this song?
I think I am, yes. All right, so here we go, Puamana, and it is Irmgard Alulu singing this song that she wrote. Hula. Puamana. My home in Lahaina, all the flowers, they smell beautiful. My home that I love. Ku'uhome, second verse. My home. And all of those amazing coconut trees. They stand tall and make me feel so relaxed. Home nani. My home is beautiful. My home by the sea. So beautiful underneath the moonlight, shining on that murmuring ocean. Ku'u, home. Haina, this is my story. Of my home in Lahaina that makes me so happy.
Thank you so much to the members of the hula school for a beautiful dance. It's kind of one of the things I've learned in studying Zen is that you search for emptiness, but within emptiness, there's everything. And, I was telling a friend of mine, I said, I'm going to be trying to be funny at the Zendo, which again is kind of scary. It's like, it's like emptiness, only the opposite, I think, exactly. But the idea is, I spent the last 2 years, every time I would try to say something funny, everybody went, shh. So what I'd like to do, just for old time's sake, is I'm going to say, hey, everybody, and you go, shh, okay? Hey, everybody. I feel at home. So now we're going to have, as our next performers,
We have wonderful to join us online, Anne Ehringhaus. Are you there, Anne? Yay, so good to see you. Anne recently just published a book of poetry, so excited to have you here with us. Please take the floor.
Thank you. Happy to be here today from North Carolina. I've been part of the poetry group for a couple of years now and really love it. We have regular inspiration and laughter. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We're trying to get you full screen in the Zendo here. May if you go up to the view section up. Oh, she tried already. We can hear just fine. The view is up corner there, maybe. Yeah. Do gallery. Yeah, speaker. Okay. Maybe that's, I don't know. I'm sorry, Anne, we're just trying to get you on screen here, but we can hear you just fine. We see you.
Okay, that's okay. I'm just taking a break. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Thank you.
I've just published my second book of poetry, and I want to read you one today. It's called The Importance of Breath. No one mentioned the importance of breath when I first learned archery at a hot southern summer camp for girls. Every day I wanted to leave the dead, dry archery range and head for the closest water. The water was full of jellyfish, but I didn't care when I overturned my sailboat just wanting to be soaked again. Their stings didn't last as long as the joy of being wet. Today I notice right away how breath helps me steady the pull, how my grounded feet somehow create a triangle within my whole body as the taut string settles in my fingers, bow and body intersecting triangles of inner and outer worlds. I wait and breathe, gaze at sky or target, no rush at all. At some point, the arrow simply releases because it has to, quiet like an out breath.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you.
We have another poem here from our Sangha member, Sky Jigan Lavin. Thank you, Sky.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Well, this is a moment to uplift. For me, I want to uplift the sacred feminine because we all know. This is a poem to the Great Mother that I wrote. It's called Enough Understanding, and it's kind of a reflection on my Dharma name, which is Jigan, Sky Jigan Lavin. The name Jigan means source of compassion. Where or at what does Jigan point? I am a secret, as big as the great void, as small as a pinpoint. Only certain of the Buddha nature I am holding, integrity, It took years to grasp. One of the 10,000 dharmas, the one right in front of me. I am the fatuous, starry-eyed dunce, the deficient, deadly serious clown, the rebel mute, criminal, confused, confusing, silent while speaking, a say-nothing speaker, a blown-out flame, an outsider. Hearer of the cries of the world, turn to this silence. Hear me. Playing in the realm of speech, lips pressed together like a pilgrim, or mouth open wide in blissful guffaw, the place I touch with my own tongue, the place I touch with my breath. I hesitate, look down at my feet. I praise the compassionate wind. Impatiently, I wait for it, to blow open the Tao. Great Mother, hear me. I am learning your name, as names are lost in the wind. Great Mother, hear me, devoted to the ground under these feet. The breath is the source of compassion, the living wind that carries these words to you.
And Sky gets a keepsake mug. Thank you. It is now with great pleasure that I get to introduce my favorite daughter, Amelia Good. And Amelia?
Thank you. I'm going to be playing Minuet 1 by Bach.
Thank you. Sorry to those of you online. I think I can slide the keyboard a little bit to get our next performer better in view. But thank you, Amelia. That was so lovely. Thank you. It looks like Poetry Next by our very own Mark Shishin Kalula. Come on up.
What's the joke? I get no respect. So first of all, go Bears! Go Bears! Let's all. We don't do a lot of praying formally in Zen, but I urge us all to have great faith. All right. Thank you for getting that. So I am not going to read my own poem. I'm going to read. With my glasses. Oh, they're right here. I'm going to read two poems by William Stafford, two brief poems. And I want to say that it's so great to see all you Buddhas here today. The first one is called Yes. It could happen anytime. Tornado, earthquake, Armageddon. It could happen, or sunshine, love, salvation. It could, you know. That's why we wake and look out. No guarantees in this life. But some bonuses, like morning, like right now, like noon, like evening. You're supposed to clap now. William Stafford is no more, but he heard that anyway. How to Regain Your Soul by William Stafford. When this is over, I'll nod, and then you can say, no, it's over. Come down Canyon Creek Trail on a summer afternoon, that one place where the valley floor opens out. You will see the white butterflies. Because of the way shadows come off those vertical rocks in the west, there are shafts of sunlight hitting the river and a deep, long purple gorge straight ahead. Put down your pack. Above, air sighs, the pines. It was this way when Rome was clanging, when Troy was being built, when campfires lighted caves. The white butterflies danced by the thousands in the still sunshine. Suddenly, anything could happen to you. Your soul pulls toward the canyon, then shines back through the white wings to be you again.
Thank you for the poetry and thank you for the nods, because obviously we need annotated poetry. One of the things that in taking Jukai ceremony and studying is I go through Dokusan. And inspired by the poetry this morning and the fact that I believe, Roshi, that pretty soon the people from the Guinness Book of World Records will be coming for the longest time not getting the first koan correct. I'm working on that. I'm really excited. I'm going to be in the book. But I wrote a poem because every time we would do Dokusan, and I would give my analysis, and it would be incorrect, Roshi would lift her imaginary bell and ring it. And that meant, it's a very polite way of saying, So I wrote a poem myself, and that was, Ryushin Roshi gently rings her no-bell bell. Time to sit, Daigu, which means I got it wrong and I'm still working on it. So, but that part of the joy of it is getting it right while I'm getting it wrong. And there's a lot of pleasure in that. And if you don't understand that, it means you probably should show up here a bit more. So next we have Kathy Dull.
Come on, take the mic, lady. Great. Thank you.
Hello. I'm reading a poem that I did not write. It's by Ellen Bass, and this was shared in Poetry Circle a few months ago by Eve Pinsker. And so I was going through poems, and I thought this may resonate with some folks. So Relax by Ellen Bass. Bad things are going to happen. Your tomatoes will grow a fungus, and your cat will get run over. Someone will leave the bag with the ice cream melting in the car and throw your blue cashmere sweater in the dryer. Your husband will sleep with a girl your daughter's age, her breasts spilling out of her blouse, or your wife will remember she's a lesbian and leave you for the woman next door. The other cat, the one you never really liked, will contract a disease that requires you to pry open its feverish mouth every 4 hours. Your parents will die. No matter how many vitamins you take, how much Pilates, you'll lose your keys, your hair, and your memory. If your daughter doesn't plug her heart into every live socket she passes, you'll come home to find your son has emptied the refrigerator, dragged it to the curb, and called the used appliance store for a pickup, drug money. There's a Buddhist story of a woman chased by a tiger. When she comes to a cliff, she sees a sturdy vine and climbs halfway down. But there's also a tiger below. And 2 mice, one white, one black, scurry out and begin to gnaw at the vine. At this point, She notices a wild strawberry growing from a crevice. She looks up, down, at the mice. Then she eats the strawberry. So here's the view, the breeze, the pulse in your throat. Your wallet will be stolen. You'll get fat. Slip on the bathroom tiles of a foreign hotel and crack your hip. You'll be lonely. Oh, taste how sweet and tart the red juice is, how the tiny seeds crunch between your teeth.
Thank you, Kathy. The line about the tiger resonated with me because it correlates to something that Robert Roshi taught us from, I believe, Trungpa Rinpoche, that we all developed an ego to keep us from being eaten by tigers. But today, not everything is a tiger, yet we treat it like that. We treat those things that we construct like they're real, and they're not. And it's important to keep that in mind. One of the things I found was when I first started coming here as Ken, okay, my background being Jewish, I came in with a mindset that I would call very Jewish. Now, you guys are supposed to say, how Jewish were you? Let's do that again. When I need Shishin to come up and nod and give the cues. Anyway, I was so Jewish when I came in. My pronouns were Hebrew. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm not sorry. As I learned, anyone who's ever had teenage kids, you learn the true meaning of sorry, not sorry. So now we have next, I believe, is it Colin? It is Dan.
Is there anyone else who needed a latte?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get back in screen here. Here I am, Zoomers. It is with great joy that I get to introduce my favorite husband. This is Dan Good. Let's see if I can get you in screen, Dan. And you are playing...
I'll play light and shadow.
Karen, can we have you slide maybe this way a little for just for this piece? See if we can get. Oh, oh, thank you, Karen. That works too. Oh, thank you. It's just right there. Okay, Light and Shadow by Philip Wesley. Take it away. Thank you, Dan. We have next up Adrian Fisher with a poem for us today. Thank you. Yeah, Adrian, come on up.
Hello, everyone. I write essays, not poems, but I want to read something from Gary Snyder, Mountains and Rivers Without End, which is, as some of you probably know, a poem, a long poem, a series of interlinked poems that he wrote from the 1950s until the 1990s. It took him 40 years, and it was modeled on or reminiscent of an ancient Chinese landscape scroll. It's the most wonderful thing, and he's one of my book ancestors. He's in his 90s now, and I've been reading him as long as I could read. So I'm not going to read one of his poems because you have to read the whole, you have to go through the whole thing like you're unscrolling a scroll, which is kind of cool. But at the beginning, the epigraph sends shivers up my spine every time I read it. So I'm going to read it to you. An ancient Buddha said, "A painted rice cake does not satisfy hunger." Dogen comments, "There are few who have even seen this painting of a rice cake, and none of them has thoroughly understood it. The paints for painting rice cakes are the same as those used for painting mountains and waters. If you say the painting is not real, then the material phenomenal world is not real. The Dharma is not real. Unsurpassed enlightenment is a painting. The entire phenomenal universe and the empty sky are nothing but a painting. Since this is so, there is no remedy for satisfying hunger other than a painted rice cake. Without painted hunger, you never become a true person."
We have next up for poetry, Robin Shearer online. But first I want to say we are coming to the end of our typical Dharma talk here. We're approaching 10 o'clock. We would be so happy to bleed into kinship and continue having snacks and enjoying poetry and hula and checking our bidding, online bidding. But those of you who may be online or in the room that need to leave, feel free to do as you need to be comfortable. And thank you for joining us. So let's carry on then with Robin Shearer. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. This is a poem by Naomi Shibab Nye, and it's called Gate A4. It's a form of prose poetry. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal, after learning my flight had been delayed 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing. "Help," said the flight agent. "Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late and she did this." I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haltingly. And then she gives a sentence in Arabic, which I can't pronounce. The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, "No, we're fine. You'll get there. Just later. Who is picking you up? Let's call him." We called her son. I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons, just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, they had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mamoul cookies, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the lovely woman from Laredo, we were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old country tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin. We now would like to invite Chris Ducell up here for a poem. Thank you, Chris.
What a perfect poem, Robin. Wow, I'm glad that you called that one up. I have a short one by Wendell Berry. It's called The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chris. Do we have Shu Ping online? Would love to hear a poem from you. There you are. Hi. Go ahead, unmute yourself and take it away, please. Oh, 1 minute. Yeah. Getting that unmute going here.
Thank you, but
Sure.
yeah, but continue. I'm not sharing. Sorry. I thought about one, but it was okay. Okay, let me read for it. Give me a moment. This is. Can I pass?
You sure can. Would you like us to come back to you in just a moment?
That's okay. I will pass. Thank you.
Oh, no. Are you sure?
Okay, give me a moment. Let me find it.
Okay. You find it and we'll come back to you.
Okay, yeah.
Next, Christian. We'll hear from Baizan while Shuping is looking.
So my poem is very brief, and it's a poem that makes me happy to visualize it. It's by a Japanese poet named Kobayashi Isa. On a branch floating downriver, a cricket's singing. That's it.
Shuping, are you ready?
Okay.
All right, Shuping is ready. And then
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, it's that putting the my current situation and a friend's words together. I won't say it's really a poem, but it's just a reflection. I thought divorce is only in relationship between couple, but the similarities can also exist in other relationships, such as to country and life. I was doing something like the kids were learning learning ABC, like A for apple, B for bee. So I was doing DIVORCE. D for detachment, I for identify, V for very often values validation, O for offer observation, R for reflection realization, C for clarity, E for embracing, encouraging, and empowering. Thank you.
now it is with great pleasure that I get to introduce my favorite son. Oh, wait. I didn't have my mic on, did I? This is my favorite son, Colin Good, and he will be playing.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, take it away. It's not fun if there's not a technical difficulty to overcome. Okay, try it again. A little lower. Okay. Okay, that's better. Thank you, Colin. If that didn't wake us all up, thank you, Colin. That was fantastic. Okay, moving on to some poetry. We are at me. Okay. Me, followed by Carlene, Diane, and then a closing hula performance. Okay. So I have a short poem from this book I find quite lovely called No Matter the Wreckage, Poems by Sarah Kay. And this poem is called The Paradox. When I am inside writing, all I can think about is how I should be outside living. When I'm outside living, all I can do is notice all there is to write about. When I read about love, I think I should be out loving. When I love, I think I need to read more. I am stumbling in the pursuit of grace. I hunt patience with a vengeance. On the mornings when my brother's tired muscles held to the pillow, my father used to tell him, for every moment you aren't playing basketball, someone else is on the court practicing. I spend most of my time wondering if I should be somewhere else. So I've learned to shape the words thank you with my first breath each morning, my last breath every night. When the last breath comes, at least I know I was thankful for all the places I was so sure I was not supposed to be. All those places I made it to, all the loves I held, all the words I wrote. And even if it is just for one moment, I will be exactly where I'm supposed to be. Can we find Carlene online?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Carlene. Welcome. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to share two poems. The first is a poem written by the ZLMC Sangha just last weekend. It's called Pause to Remember. When I pause, I remember I am in a body and I am braver than I think. I remember the feeling of fullness, the importance of letting go, to just be. When I pause, I remember all the love that I have around me and all the love that I have to give and the Sangha that is here for me. I remember I actually like pausing. I remember what it is I really want to have happen here. I remember spaciousness, the joyful moments, and the magic, the full moon giant in the sky. When I pause, I remember all the other people who are pausing at this moment too. I remember just this. What I remember changes each time I pause.
Thank you, Carlene. I believe, oh, you had another one. Go ahead.
Sorry, yes, I do have one more. This poem is one that I wrote, and the inspiration came on my birthday, just after during the tail end of the pandemic. It's called Standing on the River. A miracle begins from darkness. A newborn day cries out tears of persimmon and honey. Earth gazes lovingly at the sun, planet and star reunited, long arms of light embracing rooftops and treetops, awakening cradled between darkness and light. Daybreak arrives, young and wise, precious and neglected, faithful herald declaring, it is time to begin again and again. Thanks.
Thank you, Carlene. Okay, before our final hula number, we have Reverend Miyagetsu. Do you have a poem for us? Thank you.
I did not write this. It's by a poet, Judith Hill. Wage peace with your breath. Breathe in firemen and rubble. Breathe out whole buildings and flocks of red-winged blackbirds. Breathe in terrorists and breathe out sleeping children in freshly mown fields. Breathe in confusion and breathe out maple trees. Breathe in the fallen and breathe out lifelong friendships intact. Wage peace with your listening. Hearing sirens, pray loud. Remember your tools, flower seeds, clothespins, clean rivers, make soup, play music, memorize the words for thank you in 3 languages, learn to knit and make a hat. Think of chaos as dancing raspberries. Imagine grief as the out-breath of beauty or the gesture of fish. Swim for the other side, wage peace. Never has the world seemed so fresh and precious. Have a cup of tea and rejoice. Act as if armistice has already arrived. Celebrate today.
Thank you. Lovely. Yes? Thank you. So we're ready for the hula school and our last hula performance. Thank you so much for joining us, and please note we have 15 minutes left in our auction. Last chance to check those items and get your last bids in into Roshi.
Can you widen up the screen? Thank you so much. Our final number is called Nani Venuse, Beautiful Venus. And I love this song, sung by the Kahau Anu Lake Trio, because it's about the star Venus. Navigators needed it in Hawaii when they navigated just by the stars. And also in Buddhism, on the 8th day, when the Buddha was sitting, right, he was not going to get up until he figured out what was what in this world. He got up and he saw that 8th day Venus in the sky. And when he saw Venus, he was awakened. And he said, I and all beings of the earth awaken together. So, all right, I've got to find that song now. Hold on a second. It's such a beautiful, we haven't done this song for a long time. And it's one of my favorites. Okay, I'm gonna have you hold this. Hello, what's going on here? Oh, there you go. So this ends our little sharing. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing, for being here and witnessing it. And now there's food. Also, we've got bagels and lox, and you can toast them and look around here. I think there's some coffee still and lattes still. All right. So thank you so much for making this such a great event. Thank you.
If anyone didn't have cash and would like to pay via card, I will be in the back to run the cards. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Zoomers, for being here. Have a lovely Sunday.
Nice to meet you. Go Bears. Yeah.